Hey guys, it's your old pal Alice Cooper. Basically, this is Spooktacular. So you're gonna be seeing a bunch of horror movies that have a Halloween theme to it. Look for it all this month.
Okay, guys, I'm back once again. This is Alex Cooper. This time, this is for Blade, starring Wesley Snipes and Stephen Dorff, and a few other select actors. What can I tell you? It's about this guy that we discover that his mother was pregnant with him, and she gets bitten, and the son is of course Blade, and he grows up to be this vampire killer basically. And we come to this part where this guy and this girl are going to this club together, and that they go to this club together, and she says, "What's wrong, baby?" And she's covered in blood and everything, and he's totally freaked by this. Discovered that basically everybody there are freaking vampires. And we come to our hero, Wesley Snipes' Blade, and he's goes in there, and he just goes freaking nuts, man. He basically like wipes everybody out there, and we come to this guy that Quinn, I think that's his name, and he says, "I'm getting a little tired of shooting you, Quinn. I think I'm gonna try fire this time." And he freaking burns into a crisp, and he goes into this hospital, and the lady the orderly that she's there with, you know, looks at the body, and it's a cadaver, and well, she thinks it's a cadaver, and the freaking guy gets up out off the bed, and he bites her, and then he bites the guy that's next to her, and Snipes comes in, Blade, and he says, "I'm here to finish you off, Quinn." And he basically cuts his hand off, and he goes and retreats inside of this train thing, and he gets away, and he carries the girl back to his hideout, and he treats her wounds, and he tells her that she's been bitten, and there's really nothing he can do for her. And she says, "You make it sound like I'm already dead." And then what Blade has to go ahead and get in his chair and take his serum, or else he's gonna vamp out. And his friend Whistler is the one that helps him out, and gives him his serum, and then we come to this part where basically Stephen Dorff, shoot, I can't remember his name. Uh, he has these people to help him out, and Blade has to get some help from this really really fat guy that's sitting inside of his house basically, and he talks about the blood god, and he gets this UV light, and he tells her to fry his butt, and he does, and it turns out that actually Stephen Dorff's character is Frost, and yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm getting cold. So basically, he says the blood god is coming, and so at first he says that he's looking at a video game, and it's not. Actually, it's something about some ancient text, and Frost wanted it really bad, so much later on we discovered that the freaking Frost and his assistants basically get one of the head vampires and take him out of the sunlight and leave him for dead, basically. And they have this little ritual, and Blade and the girl basically go out, and he says that forget what you've seen in movies. Cutting their head off is the only way to take care of these vampires. And basically, they come to this part where they're having this ritual with multiple vampire heads, and they basically they have these bones that fly off into the air, and then they have this blood that incidentally comes from the Daywalker. And I want to go ahead and mention before this, it comes to this part where Frost and Blade are standing out in the street together, and he goes, "You're an idiot, you know that? I came here offering you an easy way out, and you spit it in my freaking face." And he says, "Looks like your mascara is running." And he grabs the little girl, and he goes, "Careful, I don't want our little friend here to end up on the back of a milk carton." And he says, "Well, I care. They're just cattle." And he grabs the girl, and he tells her to go home. And this comes before the big scene I was just telling you about. Basically, they need the blood of the Daywalker, and his mother is one of the ones that is helping out Frost, and Blade has to kill his own mom, and which is really, really dumb, by the way. And what can I tell you? He ends up killing Quinn again after he gets his new hand, and they come to this part where Frost has infused the spirit of the Blood God, and Blade has to go ahead and have his final showdown with him. This is the third act, obviously, and they have this little 10-minute fight scene where basically he cuts him up in half, and that's pretty much it. Blade wins. He grabs a girl, and they leave together. And we come to this scene where Blade is in Russia, and he goes, "Yeah, comrade." And he slices at the screen, and then basically the screen cuts to black, and we see red letters for Blade, and there you go. The movie's over. And then we have a good Blade sequel coming up next, but I'm not going to be getting into that. So, what can I tell you? Blade is an enjoyable movie.
Blade is a good movie and deserves a rating of peanut butter cups and a chocolate bar.
Blade is a good movie for Halloween to watch. It has some vampire violence in it. It's about an hour and 45 minutes, roughly around 2 hours. There's a lot in it that suggests that it's rated R. It's barely rated R, to be perfectly honest. I want to go ahead and mention that during this one part, he's talking with the girl, and he says that I'll tell you who we are, sister. We're the top of the freaking food chain, and you know about this blood god. He's a hurricane. And let me go ahead and conclude this on a high note. So go ahead and hit subscribe. Watch some more videos. Hit thumbs up to support the channel. Leave a comment below. And thank you for watching.